So I admit, when it came to Jean Pascal and Yunieski Gonzalez, Harold Letterman's card was 97.93 for Gonzalez. Hold on. His card was 97.93 for Gonzalez. Me personally, that's 7 rounds to 3. I was a little more generous, 6 rounds to 4 for Gonzalez. But either way, Jean Pascal should have lost that fight, and I already think we understand why the decision went the other way. But for those who didn't hear it or those who didn't get to watch the fight, I'm actually going to allow you to hear the cards being read. I am T Street Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. So let's see what the judges have to say.
Next judge, Sean McKay. I love this guy. They brought him in from New York tonight. He's a very good judge. He's worked 18 world title fights. He's on the way up. He always does a good job, Jim. Ricardo Casio again. A relatively new judge from Nevada.
The sad thing about it is,
he had that right, you know.
I don't know how they saw Jean Pascal winning this fight, but let's fast forward a little bit.
This is the official scoring. All 3 judges, Ricardo Ocasio, Eric Cheek, and John McKay, score the contest 96-94. All 3 cards to the winner by unanimous decision. Jean Pascal!
I feel bad for this Yunieski Gonzalez guy. It's my first time seeing him fight, but coming into this fight,
and you hear what?
Coming into this fight, he was undefeated. He was what, 16? Well, he's now 16-1 with 12 KOs. Cuban fighter, defected from the 2009. Look, he's crying in the ring and everything. And it's really a shame because a guy like Jean Pascal is starting to look a little bit over the hill. And now I'm thinking to myself, a guy like Jean Pascal is not going to give him a rematch. And does Jean Pascal want a rematch with Sergey Kovalev? And the way HBO has been talking about it all night, it's starting to look like, look, this Yunieski Gonzalez guy is upset. And he has every right to be upset because his whole team had invested so much into him. And he literally, you know, put on a spectacular performance for a guy who was barely unknown. Now, let's look at the punch stat numbers.
As the result, but Pascal remains in position for the potential Kovalev rematch by winning the fight. Yunieski Gonzalez landed 9 more punches and threw more.
Let me just read them. Okay, here's the punch stat numbers. 154 landed by Jean Pascal, total punches. 163 by Yunieski Gonzalez. When it comes to the cleaner, more effective punching, I would give it to Gonzalez. Jean Pascal, 397 punches thrown overall. Yunieski Gonzalez, 600, almost 300 more, well, close to 300 more, 632 thrown. 39% for Jean Pascal, okay, he's more accurate. 26% for Yunieski Gonzalez.
And 250 more, well, 235 more punches. He threw 235 more punches. Power punches. Gonzalez and Pascal land about the same number.
I'll read them to you. 103 of 220 for Jean Pascal, 47%. 105 of 358, 29%. Now, Jean Pascal was the more accurate puncher, but he wasn't, put it this way, Jean Pascal wasn't a cleaner puncher. Jean Pascal wasn't an aggressor. Jean Pascal was the one who looked out of his element, and he was pretty much, to a certain extent, on his bike. I really would love to hear what Jean Pascal has to say.
His percentage is much lower. Pascal landing nearly 50% of his power shots, as he did against Kovalev.
Robberies like this make you just want to just overhaul the whole system. Look, oh, they're not going to do any interviews. Yunieski Gonzalez is crying in the ring. Max Kellerman is not going to interview Jean Pascal, and you can tell this is when things get shady, when they don't interview the fighter after the fight, because it's like, listen, you got to win, get the hell out of here. I mean, it's really a shame, but you know, HBO and HBO is really trying to sell that. HBO is really trying to sell that rematch between Sergey Kovalev and Jean Pascal, and I don't see the rematch going any differently. And they're trying to protect the big money fight because Kovalev, let's face it, outside of Andre Ward, he doesn't really have too many names he could be fighting at light heavyweight. So that's what makes the corruption with the judges, if it is corruption, even more worse, because it's like it's so blatant that we know you want Kovalev versus Pascal too. So I look at it like this. One thing about Yunieski Gonzalez is we'll likely probably be seeing him fighting PBC fighters. You know, maybe he'll fight a guy like Adonis Stevenson. Who knows? Because from what I've seen, he could likely give Adonis Stevenson some problems, maybe even beat Adonis Stevenson. But what they did to him on HBO is just, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, and it's a shame, really, realistically. You know, it's disgusting to watch. And the thing is, I watched the fight for the first time on mute, and I was looking like Jean Pascal was getting his ass whooped. It is what it is. I am T Street Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.